Welcome to Grassroots from Barenbrug, UK, our second audio cast for farmers and seed stockists. This edition of Grassroots comes from Cropvale, the grass trial site near Evesham in the West Midlands of England. Trials here at Cropvale cover 2,000 plots. Barenbrug and its development partner, the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute in Loughall, Northern Ireland, are looking for new grasses which increase milk and meat production. So to start us off, Head of Agriculture, James Ingles.
The main reason that we've got Cropvale here and we've invested so much money here is so we can prove that what we have and what we have coming forward will actually deliver to farmers in terms of yield, digestibility, protein and persistency. Those are the key things that we can prove to the farmer that we have in our new varieties.
Cropvale is on a working farm run by Roger Hutchings, and he's responsible for managing the Barenbrug trial site.
Well, we've probably got 2,000 plots here now. We've got Italian block, we've got the hybrids, we've got intermediates, dips and tets, we've got late dips and tets. They're all in blocks. They're, each individual variety is duplicated within that block. And then I cut them about four times a year, send all the data into Barenbrug, and they do what they do with that data, and then grass varieties are produced eventually.
Well, I guess as a farmer, as a practitioner yourself, it's fascinating to see what goes into the research and development side before you go and use it on your own farm.
Yeah, I can't believe the work that does go into it. I mean, this was obviously all new to me when I first started, and just the sheer amount of time that it takes to get a grass on sale from even this stage is quite incredible. And it's a good job there's people out there that's doing this work. We have to appreciate that.
Do you go around though looking at what's best and just marking the card for next time you buy something?
Well, it's quite interesting. There are some demo trials here, and I can go around those demo trials and have a look and see what would suit this farm. But also when I'm cutting on the whole drop, you come up to one of the trial plots and you think, oh, that looks a good one. And I'll just make a little note of what it is, and I think we'll be seeing that one day, and we'll see if we do.
Nearly 100 farmers and seed stockists are here learning about the merits of the new varieties coming on stream. Scottish farmer and Barenbrug regional manager Mary Dawson was on hand to describe some of the innovations.
Imminently we have two new varieties in the intermediate diploid category, that would be Boyne and Glenariff, and one in the late diploid category which is called Clonrye. Boyne is an excellent cutting variety. It's very early heading in the group and is absolutely fantastic across all the recommended lists in the UK, the Scottish one, the Irish one, the Northern Irish one, sorry, and the English and Welsh. Glenariff is slightly later in the group and possibly slightly more suited to grazing, but still with excellent cutting yields and also very good quality. Clonrye, the third one, is a later heading material, very good quality again, very dense, very leafy, and will be very good under both managements again, cutting and grazing.
Grass breeders set themselves the objectives of increasing yield and persistence with the challenge of maintaining or raising protein content and disease resistance. In fact, Cropvale is host to NIAB's disease trials. Guests at the Cropvale Open Day were told, of course, that grass is the most profitable feed source.
I think all of the analysis that's been undertaken globally shows that grass and forage in regions that are well suited to produce forage is our most economic source of animal feed.
Deputy Director of the Agri-Food and Biosciences Institute, Sinclair Mayne.
But also, a lot of the analysis shows that in terms of economics, it makes sense to make use of our most profitable, our most cost-effective energy source. First, whether it's a low input or a high input system, all of the analysis shows that farmers who produce more production from forage are generally more profitable.
And the statistics about how much dry matter we produce seems to bear that out.
Absolutely. I mean, the good grassland, using modern varieties within the UK, we can produce 12 to 13 tonnes of dry matter per hectare, which is really competitive with any other crop we can grow in the UK. So the opportunity is there to grow large yields of grass and to convert that efficiently into animal product.
What do you see as the future for grasses? What should farmers be looking out for?
Well, I think the fundamental is getting the underlying grassland management right in order to produce those sorts of yields. It really is about some of the simple issues such as liming the soil analysis, getting the pH right, making sure that nitrogen, phosphate and potash indices are appropriate to grow high yields of grass. So that's number one, basically getting the underlying soil fertility correct to allow grass to thrive and produce high yields. Then once we've got that right, it's about getting the right varieties, and we've shown that in the last 3 decades we're achieving about a 3% dry matter increase per decade using new varieties. So over 3 decades we've produced, the varieties today are producing almost 10% more than grass varieties 30 years ago. So if we've got the right soil nutrition, the right soil status, then these new varieties really will perform extremely well under today's management conditions. And then finally it's about using that grass effectively.
So how have innovations here gone down with the industry? First I asked Debbie McDonnell from Dairy Co for her highlight.
It's great to be able to see what all is involved with breeding individual ryegrass varieties and how they progress right the way through the system up until what we see and what we try and use out on farm and make the most of out on farm.
There's an incredible statistic bandied around today that if you take the top 10% of farmers, if the other 90% could achieve what the top 10% achieve, we'd see 150% more milk.
It's certainly something that we can really work at improving on farm is use of grass. We can grow grass so well in a lot of England, Scotland and Wales and across the UK as a whole, and certainly we want farmers to make the most of out of what they can do. So definitely there is potential there for farmers to improve their utilisation of grass, and that can be a really valuable and profitable tool if managed in the right way.
And 2 stockists from Northern Ireland, Bruce Steele and Alan Holden.
Well, first of all, it's been very interesting to see the quality of the work and the site management that there is here with Barenbrug on site here. They're on a very, very good, very well presented show. And to see just the innovation that's coming forward and just how interested they are in bringing new varieties of grass and other species into our farming systems.
Basically it's how they're taking grasses forward and trying to get more production out of grasses and trying to get more palatability and digestibility, which I think palatability is key, and more bulk for silage. As we've got the climate to grow grass, and grass is our main crop, so hence we're looking for quality all the way.
What are the big highlights of what you've seen out there that you think is going to be important to your farmers, your customers going forward?
I think it's just continued breeding of better, higher yielding varieties. And I think too, the one thing I see Barenbrug taking very much on board is the fact that as our climatic changes are beginning to affect farming practice, that we actually have, they're bringing that into their breeding program, and they're trying to get, bringing innovations and varieties that will, suit wetter soil conditions and obviously maybe more intensive farming systems as well.
And Rob Connell from Mole Valley Feed Solutions on what he's seeing right now.
What we are seeing is 1 or 2 farmers this year have gone into Westar Worlds and Italian ryegrasses. Now, a Westar World obviously is only a 1-year lay, but it can be handy to a farmer who wants to look at his rotation a bit more carefully. However, we have seen a lot of Italian ryegrasses go in this year. Which is obviously a 2-year lay for cutting and silage production, and can be very useful again in a quick rotation. However, we also are seeing quite a few long-term lays going in, and they will produce again very good production in both directions, silage and grazing.
So what can we take away from Cropvale? we asked Mary Dawson and James Ingles to sum up for us.
Right now, after a difficult year, people are looking for a lot of big bulk production to fill up their silage pits because they've struggled so much with having winter feed stocks. Going forward, I think farmers really need to look at the areas in their fields, in their farm, and perhaps specify different mixtures for different areas. They will always have areas that they're going to cut more often and have areas that they're going to graze more often. So I think they're needing to look at specific characteristics for specific mixtures for specific purposes.
And I guess that's exactly why Cropvale is here, isn't it, to provide that?
Yes, exactly. We're more than happy for farmers to come here and look at all the different varieties and see how they can work together for particular uses, and also how different varieties perform at different times of the year to suit their management systems at home and their land at home. It's
an amazing fact here, isn't it, that it's 17 years or so to get a new variety to market?
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and that's why the input from our customers today and the farmers today is so important, because what they're telling us about what they may need in 10 and 15 years, our breeders have got to aim to get that. And we know that protein prices across the whole of the world are going up, and it's something that we can't produce very easily in the UK. So if we can get more protein percentage out of our existing lays and new protein crops with new clovers, it's got to be the right way forward for them.
And that's it from Cropvale, and indeed from Grassroots this time round. If you want more advice or to see Cropvale for yourself, then contact Barenbrug or your seed stockist, or visit our website www.barenbrug.co.uk. Until the next edition, have a good and profitable summer.